So these will grow up like that and like that. There we go, look at that. And then when this one grows up, all the way, please. There we go. It will trigger all of it. That wasn't supposed to do that. What's up, guys? My name is Eros. This is the Redrock Realm. It's time for an adventure. In our last episode, I'm sure you remember, we finally made ourselves a nice, sturdy super smelter. And let me tell you, I'm so glad that we have this. Now, I have done a little bit of changes since the last time you guys saw this. Nothing major, but you'll probably notice you can see redstone torches up here. The reason for that is because if I go ahead and hop on up here, this back row, which is where all of the fuel goes, you'll probably notice all of these barrels down here. So basically what I did is I just raised it up a bit. I put barrels above the hoppers that were already down there, and then more hoppers on top. Now the reason I did this, it may seem like something silly to do, but the reason I did this is it actually is going to give a bunch of, like, a storage buffer for the fuel. So if we do something like, say, bamboo or something like that that needs a whole lot of it if you're smelting a lot of items, then we can basically stock up on it and just have built-in storage for all of the fuel. So that way every single one of these furnaces basically has more than an entire chest's worth of fuel in each and every one. So that way, even if it's something like bamboo, where it takes 4 of them to smelt a single item, we are still going to have a ton of it stocked up, and we can smelt many, 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 many stacks of items all at once. So that is going to come in handy, especially because one of our upcoming projects is going to involve a lot of glass. Now, I don't want to give that away just yet. That's something that we're going to save for a not too distant future. Today, however, the project that we are going to be working on is something that is actually going to be filling all of those chests, barrels. It's going to be filling all of the barrels that we have in there. Because today, we are going to be making a bamboo and kelp and sugarcane and lots of stuff all in one kind of farm. And I have had my eye on this area over here to do it in. Because what I plan on doing is this little farm that we're going to be building is actually going to be sunk into the ground a bit. So that is my plan for all of that. We're going to basically clear out an area over here. We're going to dig a nice big deep hole, give us lots of room to work with, and then that is where we're going to put the farm. So that way we don't have any tall, huge buildings out here amongst all of the swamp huts and everything, because that just wouldn't kind of fit the look of it very well. So we are going to go ahead and do that. So I kind of changed my mind. I was going... Sure enough, never fails. Right, there we go. So I was gonna put the farm over in that area, but then I thought we keep going that direction. We haven't really done anything on this side of our main central hut, so I figured why not put it over here. The farm doesn't really need to be near anything specific. I was gonna try to put it near the smeltery building, just that way it would be easier to put the fuel in the furnaces, but I mean, I'm still gonna have to move it by hand either way. So even if I use shulker boxes or something, like whether it's 10 blocks away or 20 blocks away, it's not really gonna affect it that much. So I may as well put it over here and kind of try and expand our base in a different direction. So the reason that it is just a square of sand at the moment is because I don't have any sponges. So I am doing this the old-fashioned way to get rid of the water. And trust me, I am going to incorporate the water. I have a plan for that. But for now, I have to get rid of it so that I can dig the hole and we can have space for the farm. So I am just working on that, and then once I have all of the water removed, we'll start digging our hole as deep down as we can go. And just like magic, we have a great big hole in the ground. Now, I know this probably doesn't look too impressive just yet, and that is perfectly okay. It doesn't need to look impressive just yet, but this is where we are going to be building up these farms. Now the first one I'm going to do is going to be the bamboo, but this exact same design and the way that I'm going to do it is going to be done in a very specific way so that it is going to be completely interchangeable with bamboo, kelp, sugarcane, and I think that's pretty much all of them. However, I'm also going to eventually include pumpkins and melons as well as cactus. So this is going to end up being a 6-in-1 little farm design here, which is going to work out pretty well. But let's go ahead and get started here. So this is going to be making use of sticky pistons, some slime blocks, some regular blocks, things like that. Let's see, I think I'll use some stone bricks for some of it here. Okay, and then we're also going to need, this is unfortunately going to be the expensive part, we're going to need some obsidian. All right, there we go. Thankfully, we can get a lot of obsidian from the end. It just takes some time to gather up, but it is not hard to come by. In fact, I think we might still have some at our shop over in the shopping district. Decided to sell some over at Hades Hellscapes. So, okay, let's go ahead and pop down here, and I will show you the first unit of this design. All right, so a couple of things that I'm going to do here is, first off, we need the place where all of the water is going to go. So we're actually going to have this. Let me make sure this is centered so that way it doesn't mess with my head any. There we go. So we're going to have these stairs. Now these stairs are all going to be waterlogged, and the reason for that is because then in front of these stairs is where the dirt is going to go that the sugarcane is going to grow on. Now you can use dirt, you could use grass, there's a lot of stuff you can use. The way that I'm going to do this design, it's not going to work for sand, so I'm not going to be using sand. I wouldn't recommend it. The reason that I'm going for this design is it's going to be a lot more compact and hopefully a bit more efficient that way. So the reason that I have this is, like I said, this is going to be the same design whether it's bamboo or sugarcane or kelp or anything. So basically by just including this into the design, it just means that everything should line up very evenly and make it the exact same regardless of what it is. So if we were doing sugarcane, then we would take the sugarcane and we would just put it here with the waterlogged stair. Ta-da, just like that. Nice and easy. If not, we don't have to worry about the water. We're still going to end up needing this space here for all of the redstone mechanics and everything anyway. We're actually... Now that I stop and think about it, we might actually have to bring this out from the wall a little bit further. I think we can get away with it if we bring it out one further, and that should give us all of the room that we need here. So let me actually do that really quick. There's a reason that I made this a little bit bigger than originally planning, and I don't know why I didn't think about that before I started building and putting these pieces down. And now it's getting dark, so I need to go sleep really quick. Okay, back into the pit. All right. So now that we've got all of the proper placement for all of the dirt and everything here with the right spacing from the walls, basically we're going to have these little channels kind of etched into the wall going all the way up. And then this is where we're going to put most of the redstone for each layer. So we're going to have a sticky piston. We're going to have the 5 slime blocks. Now we can also use honey blocks for this, basically as long as it is a block that sticks to other blocks. Now, the reason that it's going back here is we are then going to put these bricks on the front of it. Now, if we just did the slime blocks or honey blocks, if we didn't have it back far enough, if we didn't have it back here and then have the stone bricks or whatever basically block we want out here, then the way that this is going to be built is these layers are going to be stacked very, very closely on top of each other. So if they were... If the slime blocks were right here, they would actually stick to the layer above it. However, by doing this, we can actually help prevent that from happening. Should be able to prevent that from happening, really. So that is why that is going to be there. This may not work. I may have to change this completely and do strictly sticky pistons. But for now, it'll work. And the more I think about it, I'm probably going to have to change it anyway. But I'm still going to go ahead and do this first, so that way you can see what I am going for here. So then we're going to have this layer right above it. And this is going to leave a little too high block. And this is, or a little too high gap. And this is where the items are going to be put to grow. So I'm guessing you can probably see what I am going for here. There we go. And then we are going to have... How do I want to do this? We are going to have a special trigger. That's the word. We're going to have a special trigger placed right about here. If I can line this up correctly. I'm guessing I can. And I didn't make them. I need some observers. Here I was thinking I was all prepared for this project. And the more I do it, the more I realize I'm completely unprepared and do not have any of the items that I thought I needed. Okay, there we go. Now I've got the observer. Now, realistically, we'll probably only need pretty much one observer for this entire farm, but I went ahead and made a few of them anyway. All right, so this one is going to go right there. Is that how I want this? Or do I want... I actually need to... I really should have planned this out better, but I did not. Okay, so this is going to go there. This is going to be our, I guess you could say trigger is probably the right word for it here. So let's see. So this is going to go right there, and that's not where that's supposed to go. There we go. That goes right there. And then there should be... I should have made some scaffolding for this too. I am so unprepared for this. I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm being so scattered with all of this today. Let's see. All right, so let's put... That's not where I wanted that. There we go. See, I'll get there eventually. There we go. And then basically we're gonna put a sticky piston here. Really, any piston works for this. There we go. And then this goes right there. There we go. All right, very good. And then we're just going to use this as our trigger. So basically, anytime this grows up to the level that this observer is at, if I could get this to work properly. Where's my shovel? All of this gravel is such a pain. Okay, there we go. There we go, okay. So, now... Okay, so now, anytime that bamboo grows up to where this observer is, it'll trigger not only this piston, but it should trigger all of them. And then we will run the redstone up through these corners and everything where we have space, so it should trigger every single thing in the farm based off of this one piece of bamboo. Now, technically, you could use sugarcane or a lot of other things as your trigger. I like to use bamboo. That is intentional for a couple of reasons. Number one, unlike sugarcane, you don't have to have a water source nearby. So I don't have to worry about water sitting here. I don't have to worry about a water source getting in the way of anything else that I put in here either. The other reason I use bamboo is because the bamboo grows faster than everything else, which means this will cause the farm to trigger a lot more often than anything else, which will also mean that basically as soon as almost everything else grows, this will be at the level it needs to be, that it'll trigger the farm and harvest everything all at once. So these will grow up like that and like that. There we go, look at that. And then when this one grows up, all the way, please. There we go. It will trigger all of it. That wasn't supposed to do that. Let me iron out some of these problems, and then I'll show you once I get a little bit more of this done. It'll make more sense then. There we go. Now it should be a little bit more obvious as to what we're trying to go for here. So you can see that we got all of these different layers here going on, each one too high with the bamboo growing, and then we've got the sticky, or the pistons with all of the slime blocks and everything going up. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the obsidian or not. It does look cool, but it is a little expensive, so I don't know. I'm going to play around with the idea a little bit. Let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer, with the obsidian or just leaving it open, because it's not like we can see it all that well when we're up above, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. So basically how this works now is we have our little trigger bamboo over here. When it reaches up in front of the observer, it's going to send a signal, which is going to travel all the way up this redstone torch tower here, and it's going to activate all of the pistons going all the way up, harvesting all of the bamboo, knocking it into the water streams and into the hopper. And then basically we can repeat that design on all 4 sides for the various other items that we want to grow. So let me just grab a bit of a little bit of bone meal here, and I can show you guys how this works. There we go. And then it all gets harvested and knocked down to the bottom. And why did that get stuck? What happened? Why did that? Oh, it's stuck to that. That's why. That's not supposed to do that. Let's see. Is that visible? It is. So we'll have to put a piece of obsidian there. I don't know why it didn't do that the first time. There we go. And then it should just be... There we go. Perfect. So that makes it nice and easy to see. So now that we have this whole pillar built up, I'm going to work on getting a couple of the other ones done as well, so that we can go AFK and collect a lot of materials. So I will bring you right back and show you how far we've gotten. Perfect. And just like that, the section for the sugarcane is now ready to go. I just have to put the sugarcane in it. So I decided to go for a different design for this one for a couple of reasons. First off, I don't have any more slime blocks, so I can't really do the same design I did on this side. And the other reason being is because these need water. These are actually waterlogged stairs down here on the bottom. So if we had used slime blocks for this one, then we would basically run into the same problem we did over here. The slime blocks would extend, they would hit the block above it, which would have been the waterlogged stairs, they would have pulled it out, would have ruined a bunch of redstone and all kinds of stuff. So for this one, even though it is more expensive when it comes to the iron, it's kind of less expensive because we don't need all of the slime blocks, we don't have to worry about all of that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of the sugarcane planted, and try not to fall to my death in the process. There we go, and then I just have to hook up the redstone. Alright, so now we are working on the side where all of the kelp is going to be growing. And I wanted to kind of show this part to you guys in stages so that you can kind of understand what's going on. So you'll notice all of these fence gates stacked up on top of each other and everything. These are all going to be opened, because basically these are going to be items that can easily hold back the water but let items pass through very easily, and they look nicer. They're a little bit more expensive than something like signs, but that's okay. I don't mind. It works better, and then we can just kind of sit here and hopefully get ourselves in the right position. If I can aim correctly without falling. There we go. And then we just sit here and we go all the way down, and we can get all of these opened up. Perfect. So just like that. So we're going to have all of these opened up so that way we can make our way down through the bottom and all of the items can make their way out. And then on this other side, we are going to have all of the pistons. Now I've got it set up like this for right now so that I can get in and out easily, but this part is going to be closed in just like all of the other corners are with a pillar there. So basically how this is going to work, it's a little bit different than how the other one was. We're going to have to replace a couple of the blocks here, but that is okay. So like for instance, let's, I'll just do this very bottom one here for an example. So we're going to have just like this, and then on this spot right here, we are going to have a stair block, and I'll probably use the brick stairs, but for now, this will get the job done. And that's going to sit there like this. And this is going to be waterlogged. Now, the reason it's going to be waterlogged is because we are also going to have a piston here, and the piston is also going to be waterlogged. Now, that may not sound like it makes much sense, but you can, in fact, waterlog the pistons, and when you do that, it makes an infinite water source right here, which is exactly what we need to happen. The reason being is that way after this piston triggers, it's going to get rid of any water that's here when it gets rid of the sugarcane as well. So by having a water source in the corner and all of the pistons waterlogged, it's going to make it so that this can turn right back into water sources without any problems, which is what's going to be necessary for the kelp to grow. So basically the kelp is going to be sitting here in the bottom. You can see that goes right there, and then it'll grow up. And let's see if I can, there we go. It'll grow up to the top. The piston will then trigger, break the kelp, and then it'll basically turn back into a water source so that there's no delay on the kelp. But basically, yes, all of these are going to be pistons. They're all going to be waterlogged pistons. And then we will also have, let's get rid of that one. We'll also have the blocks in the back here behind the pistons to basically hold all of that water in. So we'll have blocks just like that. Is that what I was trying to do? No, those need to go forward one more block. So these will all sit here like that. And that'll hold all of the water in. That'll also give us the platform that we need to put the redstone on that will trigger the pistons when it is time. So that's how we will do that. So now I just have to go through, build all of these up with the kelp in place. So like right there, and right there, and so on and so on and so forth. And basically I'm going to do that all the way up to the top. And then I'll show you guys when we've got that done. And then we'll have all three of these. Oh. And then we'll have all three of these farms ready and functioning. All right, perfect. So that is the last one all wired up. This should be good to go. Let's go ahead and pop down here and double check. Everything looks good. And it looks like the first one may have already fired. Now, slight unforeseen, it did knock the sugarcane into there, but I believe this should trigger often enough that I don't think it's going to have any risk of despawning. However, I didn't expect the kelp to go over there. Alright, so I might have to build up a little bit of a 3x3 wall here, just to kind of help contain everything. Maybe some glass panes or something like that will do the job. Nothing too complicated, should be easy enough to figure out. But let's go ahead and grab our bone meal. Let's go ahead and also put back the appropriate water streams here so everything collects in the middle like it's supposed to, because I screwed that up and forgot to fix it. There we go, and then we can test this, and we should see everything harvest like it is supposed to. Let's see, let's go ahead and let's bone meal, and oh yes, that is a beautiful sight. Look at that. That's fantastic. And that got stuck again. Did anything else get stuck? No. Okay. So I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. Let's see if we can identify quite why that got stuck over here. I think I might have just forgotten a block somewhere. No, it's powered. Why is that powered? It shouldn't. Oh, that's why, because I put piece of redstone a little bit too far. There we go. That's better. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. So there it is, all good to go, and it is working beautifully. And now we still have one more wall here where we can put one more farm. And I have a couple ideas of what to do for that. And then my other plan is to actually put a cactus farm down in the bottom here. So that should be pretty cool. But I think that this is going to do it for today. Let's go ahead and get up top so we can take a look at our beautiful machine here from above. And let's also sleep the night away because recording in the dark is not so fun to do. And I think that we are probably going to wrap things up here. It's been a very productive day. We got a very cool farm done. I still have a little bit of detail work to do, kind of clean up the edges and everything, but that is fine. I can do that off camera. Don't need to bore you guys with that part. But there it is. There is our fully AFK and passive farm for kelp, for bamboo, and for sugarcane. All of it is going to be collecting up nice and neat here in the bottom, ready to go for us. Now we just need a good auto sorter and everything in here, and we'll be looking great. So thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the adventures yet to come. And make sure you share the video with somebody else so that they can enjoy the adventure too. So thank you all so much for coming along with me, and until next time, everybody, peace and love. Bye-bye.